Hey YouTube, it's the HiFi Brothers.
And today we're going to review some headphones that define bass.
These are the Heavys H1H, marketing the world's first headphones engineered for heavy metal.
Is that bass all hype or is it game changing?
Let's do this. Welcome to today's episode, everybody. We've been putting off this episode for a while just because we've been pretty busy, but Ralph, you actually obtained these headphones not too long ago.
Yep.
I'm not very familiar with this brand. Maybe a lot of viewers are they're also not that familiar as well. And we thought this would be a good opportunity to probably speak about these just because, you know, we're always coming across different audio equipment, different brands, and if we test them out, we like them, we like to share our experience with our viewers out there. So just like we said in the introduction, these are the Heavys H1H headphones. And as I said, it's no joke, you can go to their website. They actually are the world's first headphones engineered specifically for heavy metal music.
Yes.
They're marketed as very heavy, bass heavy headphones. And yeah, we just thought we'd bring a pretty good review. So Ralph, I think what we'll do is we'll break up this review in 5 parts. So number one is we're obviously going to talk about the build quality and the design. The second part is we're going to talk about the tech specs, which we'll just do like a little rundown with our music like we typically do on this channel. The third one we're going to get into is obviously the sound and the performance of the actual headphones. The fourth is pros and cons, because we like to call those out specifically. And then the last is final thoughts, anything that we might have forgot from the other part of the video. And yeah, I mean, if you're new to this channel, welcome. For those that are joining us for the very first time, we're the HiFi Brothers. We actually are brothers. We've been doing video reviews on a lot of different products on this channel for about 5-6 years now. So welcome to those, and also welcome back to our subscribers. So before we actually get into the video, I do want to give a brief disclaimer. We did not get these headphones from Heavy. They're not sponsoring this video. You actually bought this with your own money. Yeah. Actually, real quick, why don't you go ahead and tell our viewers, how did you hear about these and why did you purchase them?
Well, bro, you know, just like anybody else, I was at the gym, obviously working out, and a friend of mine actually had these on. I'm like, hey, what kind of headphones are those? He's like, dude, you got to try these Heavys. You know, I'm always in the market of trying different headphones and stuff like that. He's like, why don't you give them a listen? So I put them on, and I had, my Sonys at the time, the MX4s. And I put these things on, and I'm like, wow. I was kind of impressed with the sound. It was like, I like to listen to a lot of heavy metal and a lot of, just like soundtracks and stuff like that. And these headphones are actually sounded pretty good. All
right, Ralph, well, let's get into the heart of the video. Let's start with build, quality, and design. So why don't you go ahead and tell our viewers a little bit more about the headphones physically here.
Absolutely. So these headphones are, they're pretty rugged. They're plastic design, but they have really, really good felt pads on them. So they're really nice on the ear. They have 8 drivers in the headphones. So they're basically 4 per ear. So what's really cool about these, they have 2 bass drivers, 1 mid-range and a tweeter on each ear, which is awesome. These actually collapse if you want to customize the heads, just like that. And you can get customizable earbuds and just put them in here, and they just snap right back in, which is really, really cool. I like them a lot. They have they're Bluetooth, or they have a 3.5 millimeter headphone jack, which if you're an old school, you can use those as well. They're foldable, they're collapsible. They have a case, which I'll show you right now. They come with this case. It's really cool. You open it up, you put them in there. If you want to travel with them, you can travel with these. They're really, really cool headphones. They have a built-in app that you can customize the equalizer inside of them and stuff like that. If you ever have to update the headphones, they have that too in there, which is really, really, really cool. So yeah, I mean that's pretty much it with my perspective on these headphones. Bro, what do you think about these headphones?
Yeah, I agree with you. They're kind of heavy too. I think that's the one thing to call out. I mean, it's in the name, Heavys, but yeah, they weigh 410 grams.
Yep.
So definitely on the heavier side for most over-the-ear can headphones. And the other thing I wanted to call out too is that they don't have touch controls on them.
Yes.
But that is one specific thing I wanted to call out, is that all the controls on the actual headphones, outside of the app, of course, is physical buttons. But outside of that, yeah, I mean, we'll get into the sound quality, but From build design, there's nothing really metal about these. It's mostly plastic, but the plush they're very nice.
Yes,
you put these on, you kind of miss the whole aspect of them being heavier headphones. When you have them on, they actually fit pretty nice. But yeah, Ralph, let's go ahead and do a tech spec rundown and just showcase the headphones.
Absolutely.
Pretty cool tech spec rundown, Ralph. Let's go ahead and now let's talk about what a lot of viewers are probably waiting for, which is the sound quality and the performance of the actual headphones. You've obviously have had these for a lot longer than I've actually had it tested. So yeah, I guess let's start with you. How do these sound? And is there any like characteristics that you wanted to call out specifically about the headphones?
Yeah, I mean, one thing I would like to mention about these headphones is that like we were mentioned in the beginning of the video, they're bass heavy. And they definitely are bass heavy. They overwhelm the mids and the highs and stuff like that. You do feel the presence of the mids and highs are really good. Don't get me wrong. And that's why you go into the app tuner and you can fine tune all that stuff for you. With that said, they do sound really good. Over the ear, I love over the ear. That's like my favorite type of headphones. I don't like the inner ears, to be honest with you. They're pretty superior, like I said, in that bass realm, especially when listening to heavy metal. You want that drum beat, boom, 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 and you're gonna feel that, which is really cool about these headphones. What about you, bro? What are your thoughts on these? Even though you haven't had them so long and you tried them for the first time, what do you think?
Yeah, I mean, I would say that they definitely live up to the name and what they're intended for. Is they're bass heavy headphones. You don't feel like the bass is drowning out some of the other sounds too much. But yeah, I mean, if you're a person who loves those genres of music, I'm gonna say like heavy metal, hard rock, even EDM. That's what I listen to when I work out. And I was listening to EDM when we were trying out these headphones. They sound great. In other genres of music, so like hip hop and I want to say movie soundtracks, which you mentioned earlier, they, compared to other headphones that I have, they tend to drown out the mids. The trebles were still there, but the bass definitely did overpower the mid. But yeah, the other thing you called out, Ralph, was the noise canceling function. I don't want to say that they're anything that's game changing in that department. These will do the job for you. You could definitely tell that the noise cancellation is on.
Yes.
They don't work as great as the other ones, but yeah, they're there. It's there for you if you need it. But all right, Ralph, let's get into final thoughts, and I think we're going to be done with this video or this review. So yeah, why don't you go ahead and you start first.
Okay, well, I'm going to tell you my final thoughts. I think these are badass headphones, to be honest with you. I like to listen to heavy metal. I know you like to listen to heavy metal, and like I said, when I'm listening to music in the gym, and I want to drown out everybody that's in there in my way, I want to make sure these things are loud as hell. The other thing I want to mention is that when you go onto the Heavys website, you can purchase them for 17% off for $294. But if you're a first-time buyer, you get 30% off these. So that's another thing to consider. So that's a good slash deal right now if you buy these headphones on their website.
Yeah, that might be enticing too. If you're comparing these with like the Sony or the Bose or some other headphones that are out there, yeah, you can get these after the 30% discount. You can get them for, less than $250. So that could put them in that range for you. But yeah, overall, I really like these headphones. These are going to be a niche buy for certain individuals. I would say that if you are a person who likes that genre of music and you like bass heavy music in general or movies, then these are definitely going to be the headphones for you. The other big benefit too is just the physical buttons.
Yes.
I will like to call that out because there's a lot of headphones that I've tried today that don't have a lot of physical buttons on there. And I always was like, and sometimes it's finicky with the touch controls, right?
Right.
Especially since it does tend to drain battery life. That's why they're able to get that 50 plus hours with these guys. But yeah, I mean, right now it's a pretty good deal on the website, like you said. So if you're somebody who is new to this brand entirely, please go to their website. We'll have a link in the description of the video. The link we're providing is not an affiliate link. It just goes right to the website. And if you're a first-time purchaser, you can probably snag these up for about $250.
Absolutely.
So I would say that for that, these are a pretty good deal. But you know what, Ralph? I think that concludes our video.
Absolutely, bro. So make sure you like and subscribe and hit that notification button.
And as always,
Keep it hi-fi.